Hello, this is Dr. David Heber. Thank you for the nice introduction. It's so great to be with all of you in Taiwan for this E-Spectacular. It's going to be a really great meeting. I can't wait to talk to you about balanced nutrition, healthy active lifestyle, and healthy weight. Let me just share my screen with you and we can get started. So there we are, the power of nutrition, healthy weight, and a healthy you. As many of you know, I'm chairman of the Herbalife Nutrition Institute. We're going to talk more about that. I have been in the field of nutrition for over 40 years. I founded the nutrition programs at the University of California, Los Angeles, including the Center for Human Nutrition. I'm now a professor emeritus, but I'm also a fellow of the American Society for Nutrition, of which there are only 300 fellows since 1950. And in the year 2014, the Reuters news agency declared me one of the most influential scientific minds in the world based on my work on colorful fruits and vegetables. I was also elected Best Doctors in America between the years 2000 to 2015 by over 35,000 doctors. But I'm not alone in my efforts. I have many people helping me. We'll start right in the middle there. Dr. Kent Bradley, our Chief Health and Nutrition Officer, is the leader of our Nutrition and Training Education Group. Standing next to him is Dr. Luigi Groton, who was my student and clinical fellow who I've known for over 20 years, and he is now Vice President of Nutrition Education and Training worldwide. Standing next to him is Susan Bowerman, who is my dietitian at UCLA for over 20 years, and she directs our Dietetic Advisory Board and also directs a lot of our nutrition training. Standing next to her is Dr. Dana Ryan, a PhD exercise physiologist who helps with our sports performance nutrition program and trains around the world. Standing next to her is Dr. Steve Hennig, who is our Chief Science Officer Emeritus. He has worked for many different food companies around the world. And Steve is a good friend for more than 30 years. Standing next to him is Dr. Bill Frankos. Dr. Frankos worked for the Food and Drug Administration and wrote many of the regulations around dietary supplements, and he travels around the world helping people to understand dietary supplement regulation. And then on the far end is Laura Chacon-Garbado. She is an expert in outer nutrition and does a lot of our training on outer nutrition products for the skin. On the far end is Christy Applehands, who's a nutritional medicine doctor. She directs our global quality and safety programs, including our post-market surveillance. Standing next to her is Dr. Rocio Medina, who trains all of our Spanish-speaking doctors around the world. And standing next to her is my colleague, Dr. Luis Ignaro, the winner of the 1998 Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for the discovery of nitric oxide. Standing next to him is another friend of mine of over 30 years, Dr. Gary Small, who is a psychiatrist and expert in memory and brain health. Standing next to him is Samantha Clayton, a former Olympic athlete who directs a lot of our sports and nutrition training and has that group under her direction. This is a close-up of all of those wonderful experts, as you can see, with their official titles. And down in the bottom row, I have two more people I want to tell you about. Dr. Mike Yatsila, our Senior Vice President of Research and Development, and Gary Swanson, our Senior Vice President of Quality Assurance and Control, who directs all of the quality control efforts on our products, which are extensive, as you'll see. We also have a Nutrition Advisory Board. This board is made up of doctors and PhD scientists around the world, most of whom are affiliated with universities and who conduct the training of distributors and members at many meetings around the world. We're very proud of this group. We also have a Dietetic Advisory Board directed by Susan Bowerman, my dietitian of many years, who directs dietitians in many countries around the world, where they provide you with recipes as well as practical information on diets, foods, and nutrition. Now, the quality science in our group is quite extensive. It's a standard in the industry. We test all of our products after cultivation and harvesting. We do raw materials testing. We test after blending. We test after packing. And we test after transportation, checking for humidity and heat exposure. We also keep about 5% of our products in reserve in the rare instances where there may be a technical problem that needs to be corrected. Now, our science and manufacturing expertise under the direction of Mike Yatsila and Gary Swanson involves more than 300 scientists and PhDs around the world. We have manufacturing facilities around the world, the largest in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's 800,000 square feet, about the size of 8 football fields. We also have another facility in Southern California and 3 facilities in China, as well as facilities in Europe and other trusted manufacturers around the world. Now, in the year 2010, I founded the Herbalife Nutrition Institute, made up of some of my own professors and senior key opinion leaders in nutrition around the world. This institute is dedicated to promoting knowledge in the fields of nutrition, exercise, behavior, and public health. We have a website, www.herbalifenutritioninstitute.com, where you can go and see articles about nutrition. But we also have a password-protected part of the site for doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and other healthcare professionals, where they can sign in and see some of the scientific papers that provide the basis of the science behind our outstanding products. Now, in 2017, I also developed an Instagram site for everyone to access. It is cost-free. You can follow me daily. You just have to search Dr. David Heber on Instagram and download your Instagram. I have over 196,000 followers at this time. Each post is about 60 seconds in length, has valuable information on many aspects of nutrition, and you can repost this to your downline or other people that you're coaching. Now, the key points I want to cover today are the importance of balancing nutrition to maximize your exercise workouts. What nutrition do you need before, during, and after a workout? How to stay hydrated during a workout? How much physical activity do you need per week? How working out helps to relieve stress, and the overall health impacts of nutrition and physical activity. Now, we have something called the Global Nutrition Philosophy for Healthy Weight. In this philosophy, protein and physical activity work together. That's why we put a green circle around the 30% protein circle. You want to take in about up to 30% of your total calories as protein. In addition to that, you want to take about 40% of your calories as healthy carbohydrates from fruits, vegetables, nuts. And then you want to have 30% fats and have a balance of omega-3 fats from fish oils and fish oil supplements from ocean-caught fish, and reduce the fat hidden in processed foods. We also recommend vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, hydration, and rest with good quality sleep for 6 to 8 hours per night. Protein is an essential component of every cell in the body, including immune cells. After exercise, as we'll see, protein has been shown to have beneficial effects for building and maintaining muscle and lean body mass, which is key to maintaining the number of calories you burn every day, called your metabolic rate. You should aim to consume up to 30% of your daily calories from protein. Now, protein, unlike carbohydrates and fat, is not stored in the body. It's commonly found in animal products, but it's also present in plant foods such as nuts and legumes. Fats and carbohydrates are stored in the body. Protein is not, as we'll see. But these other macronutrients, protein and fat, do provide energy. So here's how protein works. When you take in protein, it is digested in your intestines and converted to what are called amino acids. There are 21 common amino acids. These are then reassembled into over 5,000 different proteins that then circulate in your blood or are deposited into the various tissues in your body. On the other hand, fats and carbohydrates are stored in the body as body fat and a starch called glycogen, but they cannot be used efficiently to make protein. Now, as we look around the body, protein is built up and broken down at different rates. As you can see here, bone cells are broken down between 2 weeks to 3 months, while fat cells take up to 8 years to turn over. So that's not good news if you're trying to get rid of your fat cells. But on the other hand, red blood cells and white blood cells turn over in a matter of days to months. Now, muscle breaks down while you sleep and releases amino acids, which is why breakfast is so important, to replace the protein you lost while you were sleeping and to get the protein you need for the next day. However, many people tend to skip breakfast. You know, a typical Asian breakfast of congee and vegetables is too low in protein to stimulate new protein synthesis. As shown in this slide, lunchtime protein often falls short. However, for dinner, people often eat too much protein, Some of the extra protein is simply broken down and stored as fat or carbohydrate. What you really want to do to have optimum distribution is to have 20 to 30 grams of high quality protein at each of your 3 to 5 meals per day. Now, protein and exercise build muscle together. Shown here, I'm practicing my famous push-ups on a Bosu ball. And when you eat protein, amino acids are released into the bloodstream. They travel into the muscle cells where they improve muscle protein synthesis. Between meals, when you're not eating protein, the amino acids are released by the muscle and there is muscle breakdown as shown on this slide. Now, exercise stretches the muscle cells and increases their ability to take up amino acids and build new protein. Now, how much exercise do you need per week? Well, for most healthy adults, 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic activity, such as brisk walking, swimming, gym work, yoga, and Pilates is sufficient. Or you can do 75 minutes a week of vigorous aerobic activity, dancing, running, 30 minutes, 5 days a week is what we recommend, but 75 minutes a week of vigorous activity is also beneficial. Now, when you're exercising, you tend to lose water. As shown on this slide, the sweat cells under the skin release sweat on the surface of the skin, which then evaporates. As it evaporates, it's just like boiling water on your stove. Heat is lost from the body as the sweat evaporates. So it turns out that every liter of fluid removes 573 calories of heat from your body and keeps you from overheating while you exercise. So typically you lose 0.8 to 1.4 liters per hour with sports, but the amount varies. Fortunately, your brain cells detect fluid deprivation very sensitively, so thirst is your best guide to needing more fluids. As a general rule, drink 2 cups or 500 milliliters of water or sports drink 2 hours before your workout, and have 1 cup or 250 milliliters in the final 15 to 30 minutes of exercise. During exercise activity, drink 1 cup of water or sports drink every 15 to 20 minutes when you are thirsty. Now, as I mentioned, exercise is also a great stress reducer, and it does this by increasing blood flow to the brain. The human brain benefits from exercise, and this habit is supported by substances called endorphins that reinforce the habit of exercise. Physical exercise improves circulation and memory, balance, coordination, and reflexes. Exercise also increases the amount of vital oxygen and glucose delivered to the brain while promoting carrying away waste products. Exercise that increases the heart rate helps to pump even more oxygen and glucose to the brain. Now, the importance of post-exercise shakes in building muscle cannot be overemphasized. As I mentioned, exercise strains the muscle to set up muscle cells to absorb amino acids and build protein. However, you need that protein within 30 minutes to 1 hour after exercise, as shown in the lower part of the slide. The ability to absorb amino acids goes down over time in the muscle cells, so you want to get your protein while the muscle cells are still primed for increased protein amino acid intake. Now, exercise increases muscle protein synthesis, as we have said. And this slide shows 2 aspects of that. First, the amount of protein you need. As you can see, between 20 and 30 grams of protein taken between 30 minutes and 1 hour after the end of exercise reaches a plateau in terms of optimizing new muscle protein synthesis. Exercise, is shown in the dotted blue line in young people and the dotted green line in older adults, increases the uptake of amino acids. So exercise improves the ability of muscles to take up amino acids and improves their ability for new protein synthesis, as shown in the dotted blue line for older adults and the dotted green line for young adults. Now, how much protein you need is determined by your lean body mass. That's the sum of all the protein in your muscles and lean tissue. And why that is important is because it determines how many calories you burn per day. Protein is the most abundant substance in your body other than water. So to maintain your muscle, you need to match the protein in your diet to the protein in your body at 1 gram per pound or 2 grams per kilogram of lean body mass, which you can estimate with a weight to height chart, or you can measure with a bioimpedance meter such as a Tanita or Omron. Now, the total protein must be replaced during the day, between meals, and after exercise. So it's very important to have the right amount of protein at every meal and after exercise. Now, as shown on the slide, muscle cells burn more calories, about 14 calories per pound or 30 calories per kilogram. Whereas fat cells are really there to store calories. They only burn about 3 calories per pound or 6 calories per kilogram. So loss of muscle due to inactivity leads to a decrease in the number of calories you burn at rest, so that even eating the same number of calories, you gain weight. And we commonly see this in middle-aged adults. As people age, if you don't exercise, you can lose as much as 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every 10 years after age 30. As shown on this slide, in the absence of exercise, this can lead to actual disability in old age. On the other hand, if you exercise, you'll still have some decrease in muscle mass, but it'll be much less than you would have if you were totally sedentary. These decreases in resting calorie burn explain in part the increase in overweight and obesity with aging, and we commonly see this in middle-aged and older adults. The right amount of protein and resistance training using bands or weights in the gym, combined with Pilates or weight machines, can reverse changes within muscle cells while also increasing protein synthesis in the muscles. So let's talk about the ideal breakfast. Breakfast, as I said, is the most important meal of the day. You need to get at your breakfast essential amino acids. Just like vitamins, your body cannot make these 9 essential amino acids: lysine, methionine, cysteine, tryptophan, valine, isoleucine, histidine, phenylalanine, and threonine. The protein supplied by soy protein powder, as in Formula One, provides all of these 9 essential amino acids that are key building blocks that your body needs to build up muscle protein. Now, soy protein is the highest quality protein in the world from plants, and it's a major crop for the world's food system. It's the most widely grown legume across the globe. As a matter of fact, the ancient Chinese emperors regarded soy as a necessity for life. Raw soybeans contain 38 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is similar to pork and 3 times more than an egg. Now, the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, or PD-CAS, is shown in the upper part of this slide in the blue and green bars. As you can see, soy protein gets a perfect score of 1.0 along with egg white and whey protein. So soy protein is the highest quality protein in the plant world and provides all of the essential and non-essential amino acids your body needs. Now, there are many myths about soy protein, and some people prefer not to have soy protein, so we also have products that use either casein or whey. Now, healthy fats and fish oils are also extremely important. In the modern diet, due to industrial food production, many processed oils have their omega-3 fats removed, and there's an excess of omega-6 fats. So in a natural plant-based diet, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 might be 3 to 1, but in a modern diet, it's anywhere from 17 to 30 times the amount of omega-3. So this leads to unbalanced inflammation from the diet. The omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids compete for the very same enzymes that convert them into substances that either promote inflammation or decrease inflammation, and that's shown on the graph. So what you want to do is decrease the total amount of fat in your diet, which will decrease the omega-6 fatty acids. At the same time, eat ocean-caught fish 3 times per week for optimum immune function. Now, you can look at body fat samples to see how much omega-3 and omega-6 is in the diet, because the diets that you eat determine the amount of different fats in your body fat. In this study, fat samples taken from the United States found that somewhere around 20% of the fatty acids were omega-3 and 80% were omega-6, a major imbalance. On the other hand, as we go to Japan or other Asian countries, we see that there are more omega-3 and a very good balance of omega-3 and omega-6, and along with that, a lower incidence of cardiovascular disease. Now, healthy carbohydrates are also important. And these healthy carbohydrates contain the same carbohydrates as white bread, but they are mixed with and bound to other important nutrients. In terms of fiber, which can either be insoluble fiber, which is not digested by your body or by your bacteria, or soluble fiber, which cannot be digested by your body, but can be digested by the bacteria that you carry in your gastrointestinal tract called the microbiome. And those bacteria are benefited by digesting the soluble fiber. In the process, soluble fiber can also help reduce hunger by causing swelling in the stomach, can also lower blood cholesterol, and it can improve blood sugar since fiber reduces the rate at which glucose is absorbed into the bloodstream. So healthy carbohydrates are absorbed at a different rate than processed refined carbohydrates like refined sugar. Slower, smaller sugar peaks and less insulin being pumped to control that sugar is healthier for your body. In addition, healthy carbohydrates are rich in fiber, which is important from the moment food reaches the stomach until the end of the digestive system. Now, how does soluble fiber lower cholesterol? Well, once it goes into the small intestine, the liver, via the gallbladder bile, releases cholesterol into the small intestine. There, the soluble fiber physically interacts with the cholesterol and binds it, taking it out of the body through the intestines. Now, nitric oxide, a discovery promoted by Dr. Louis Ignarro, my colleague I mentioned, who won the Nobel Prize in 1998, is actually a gas made up of one atom of nitrogen and one atom of oxygen. And it is made by the single layer of cells called endothelial cells that line the smallest blood vessels in the tip of your finger and other organs throughout your body. These small vessels called arterioles have smooth muscles in their wall. The endothelial cells produce the nitric oxide. It travels the small distance to the smooth muscle where it relaxes the smooth muscle. And as shown in this slide, blood flow is increased as the blood vessel relaxes. Now, nitric oxide has a very short half-life, so therefore its production and maintenance in the blood can be increased by supplements with arginine, citrulline, and antioxidants. So you want to take a supplement before exercise to increase blood flow to your muscles and other organs. So I want to thank you for your attention today at this wonderful e-spectacular. I hope that we will see each other in person very soon. It's been a pleasure to speak with you, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of your training at the 2021 e-spectacular. This is Dr. Dave Heber saying we'll see you next time.